When I got out into the world of work and started managing not-for-profit organizations, I met so many, mostly women here in Rochester, who were just creating change here. You might not know that the Channel 1 program, which is really big, Food Shelf, started with 2 women who decided that we should do something about the hungry people in our community. And they started out with a steel shelving unit at the Y, and now it's a very large organization serving 14 counties. Those women inspired me.
It wasn't anything I ever had planned. It wasn't anything I ever thought I would do. It just was really a result of efforts I made as a resident of a community, a volunteer, and a parent.
Well, after working in public policy as a career, I was drawn to volunteer positions that involved advocacy. And after a while, I realized that my voice on issues could be better used with a vote at the table where decisions were being made. So I decided to run for school board.
I think for many of us, our career path chooses us. And I got interested in how do people learn and what keeps people from having opportunity in life. So I ended up working in a lot of not-for-profits here in the community. And then eventually people said to me, well, we'd really like you to represent us in the legislature. I accepted, I ran, I served in the legislature for 14 years, and then I said, well, that's enough. And then I got asked to run for the county board. So in some ways, my career found me.
Well, I have always wanted to run for office since I was a little kid, so it was always on my radar. But at the start of COVID, I was leading the Rochester Nonprofit Consortium, and that meant being really at the center of addressing some of the most pressing community needs. And I was working with a lot of community leaders and just had a really good pulse of what issues were going on in the community.
I would say as a young child, I did lots and lots of reading. And I became very enthralled with Abigail Adams. So I think she had an influence on me as a bold woman when I was a little girl.
I've had many people in my life who've influenced me. I'm old enough that when I was a teenager, there weren't many choices of careers for women. So the women that I saw, the professional women I saw that inspired me, were my teachers.
I also had a director when I was working at the Minnesota Department of Health on health policy legislation that was a really strong, fierce leader, and she also saw a lot of potential in me and mentored me and encouraged me to be bold and be brave.
Well, in my first job after graduate school, I worked for 2 women who were trailblazers in the field of healthcare policy. And they were tough bosses, but they were really generous mentors. They were always authentic in who they were, in their personalities, confident in the knowledge and skills they brought to the workforce.
Well, one of the things that I didn't anticipate when I ran for mayor was that it was going to be a first. It was going to be the first woman mayor. And I hadn't thought about that when I ran. Being that first woman, being a role model for young girls, mothers and even fathers have come up to me with their daughters and wanted me to talk with their daughters about public service and introduce me to them.
I hope that's inspiring others, that they know that they can connect with me and that I am absolutely there to advocate for as many voices as possible.
I'm so impressed with our youth commission and all the things that our students get done, and how many times an older student can go to a younger student and say, I'll help you get there.
So I've been fortunate enough to be the club advisor for a few high school clubs. So I've gotten to meet a lot of great high school students. And I hope I've inspired them by thinking about their dreams and their passions and pursuing them. And for me, that's a way to pay back some of that mentorship that I got early on in my career.
Well, it's a really incredible time of transition in Rochester leadership. We have unprecedented numbers of women in elected positions, in other formal leadership positions.
But I think life takes you where you're supposed to go, and just to take advantage of the opportunities in front of you, utilize those skill sets and do the best you can to make the world a better place.
I just hope that we'll all step into taking leadership where we are with the people around us, so we're all stronger and all better as a community and reach our potential.